I think we are best served by doing that in a deliberative fashion, and therefore I support Mr. Evans' motion to refer to the subcommittee.
Thank you. Mr. Blackwell, would you like to speak in response? This is on the referral.
This is on the referral. Mr. Chairman, I rise to oppose the motion to refer this to committee. Let me say that in many long years of participation in the rules process, I have found that it is perfectly feasible for the committee to deal with each issue separately. And it is not the custom of this committee to come up with an omnibus set of changes derived by some groups other than the entire membership of the Standing Committee on Rules. I think there is a significant danger here which might endanger the passage finally of this. It is entirely possible that the committee, the subcommittee is going to come up with a report which will have many different portions of it, some of which will be very offensive and thought to be very wrong by many people on this committee. And then we will be told that there are some elements of this that you like. And if you want to get the things that you like, you have to vote for those things that you think are bad for the Republican Party. I think that under any circumstances, issues should be considered individually. And you're much more likely to get a 75% vote of the full National Committee if, in fact, every element of it has already passed by a 75% vote. But if this subcommittee comes up with a wide-ranging set of proposals, and in all likelihood they would be presented to us as a package, if any of us think that any single one of those things is very bad for the committee and decides to vote against it, we're very likely not going to get 75% vote on the package. So I would ask that my amendment be adopted. If somebody comes up with an amendment later on that would somehow affect this, then that can be part of somebody else's amendment. But Mr. Ryder says he is in essential agreement with what I have said. I believe that a majority of this committee is in agreement, of the Standing Committee on Rules is in agreement, and I ask that we, whether or not other matters are going to ever be brought forward by the subcommittee, that this matter be decided today. I can tell you this, everyone in this room knows that there is considerable interest in the grassroots about what the Republican Party is doing on rules. They saw what happened in Tampa as a series of power grabs, and we need to send signals to the grassroots that the attitude and procedures that took place in Tampa are not going to be continued, that efforts to give the grassroots opportunity to work their will and to influence the flow of power from the bottom up is desirable. It's out there. People are concerned. People are waiting to see what we're going to do. And it is going to discourage a lot of people across the country whom we want to join in our Republican Party activities if this amendment of mine isn't passed. It's relatively non-controversial right now, and I think there's no reason why we can't pass it. And if later changes can be made, well, we've accommodated that in every election cycle. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go slightly out of order to the queue. I want to have somebody speak in favor of the referral, and then we'll get to the next comment, if that's okay.
Mr. Chairman, John Hammond, the National Committeeman from Indiana. I rise in support of the motion to refer for a couple of simple reasons. And I want to refer a little bit also to Mr. Blackwell's comments. I think it's wise that because of the interrelationship of all these rules and how much is at stake with what we decide, that it is very important to refer to the subcommittee so that all this can be looked at in a very comprehensive manner. Not a compressed manner, not under pressure, not not to litigate old issues, but in my view, of course, all of us here are grassroots people. We all represent grassroots of one kind or another. We have many in the audience that represent various grassroots organizations. I think this move to refer it to the subcommittee should encourage the grassroots about the seriousness with which we're going to look at this issue. And for that reason, and many others, as I've stated, I rise in support and encourage the Rules Committee to support it as well.
Thank you. Next speaker in opposition.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I actually,
If you could just identify yourself.
Brian Doherty, proxy for Mark Willis.
Thank you.
I actually agree with Warren Blackwell that this amendment should be here in this Rules Committee. It's increasingly obvious that since the 2012 convention, these rules have been handed down to here and then now to a subcommittee, and there's less and less people actually getting their input and ideas interjected into these. And although I would ultimately vote against the 16C2 on the premise that these amendments do not recognize the controversial way that these rules were passed in the first place. So I do feel that the RNC should take this up, this Rules Committee should take these amendments up here in this committee and allow these amendments to be voted up and down by you fine RNC rules members, because that was your stated objective while participating as a Rules Committee member.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. If you can take next person in favor of. Yeah, we're gonna come to public comment. Mr. Faber.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Peter Feynman, National Committee Man, Florida. I rise to speak on the matter of the referral of this and the other motions to amend the rules to the subcommittee. In order to do that, I have to tell a little bit of the story, so please grant me the time to do that, Mr. Chairman. I was on the Convention Rules Committee this past summer of 2012, at least for a time. I was credentialed to be on the Credentials Committee for the convention. And when I got to the room, I found that my name tag had been replaced by that of another individual who happened to be a Romney campaign staff lawyer. And my Florida female counterpart had also been replaced by a Romney consultant to the campaign. So I get it. I understand what happened at that convention. I was not part of it, but I sure caught the grassroots end of it, because even though my name was taken down from the Convention Rules Committee at the time of seating, my name and phone number and email address were left up as still being a member of the Convention Rules Committee. So I can tell you that when we had that one-day hurricane delay, I probably received 1,000 telephone calls and 1,000 emails. I answered every email and then followed them up and sent them to Mr. Ginsburg. So I get it. And I am very much in favor of the grassroots being heard on this committee now and the time, and I think Rice Previous now gets it. However, Mr. Chairman, we have an opportunity that this committee has never had in the history of the RNC, and that is this. When they made those changes at the convention, they also gave us a power that we never had before as the Standing Rules Committee, and that is to actually amend our rules. If you go back and look at the former iterations of our standing rules, we, as members of the RNC, never had an opportunity to amend these rules. We do now, for the first time. I suggest that we take advantage of that opportunity, send all of these proposed amendments and the others that I know we will deliberate on to the subcommittee, of which I'm a member, so that we can review them, deliberate them, and make changes for the benefit not only of the RNC, but for the grassroots and for this party going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Little?
Crossville Jr., Gwinnett, Louisiana. I rise to encourage members of this committee to vote no on this motion to refer. Regarding the committee that our chairman just appointed, I have confidence that this committee is going to give a really good report. I have confidence in our chairman of the Rules Committee. I have confidence in our chairman of the RNC. I have confidence in our learned counsel, our general counsel. They came up with a good idea 4 years ago, and I think they'll come up with some good ideas today. Or not today, but in the coming weeks. However, we can still vote on this motion. However, this group, this committee, can give a comprehensive report. So to say that the committee will somehow have their hands tied and not to be able to give a comprehensive report because of the passage of this amendment, changing one word, is just a bunch of baloney. We can certainly do that. And there's another detail here. Morton submitted this well in advance. We all knew about it. It's a minor change in terms of word. It's one word, but it's a major change in terms of its import. So I think the committee, that I think is going to get an excellent recommendation, Mr. Chairman, I'm confident of it, will make great use of understanding this body's opinion of this rule. So we should vote no on referring this committee, and we should then adopt this small one-word amendment. And we should also, I would also like to request a record vote on this, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Let me just come back to the record vote in a second. Mr. Little will hear the other, and then I'll respond to the record vote, if that's all right. Okay, Mr. Kent.
Jeff Kent, National Committee Man from Washington State. I very much appreciate the confidence and the level of confidence that Mr. Little just expressed in the ability of the subcommittee to do its job. I would only ask that he and the rest of the people in this committee give us some time to be able to do that. It's hard to imagine that you have the confidence that we'll do the job properly and that will allow us to even become a meeting before we start deciding the rules. I want to hear as much grassroots input as I can possibly get before we make a decision, not just on this rule, but all of the other rules that we proposed today. It seems to me that we need to go through the process in order to gather those opinions and those ideas and so forth, not just from the people on this committee, but I also want to hear the opinions of the other members of the RNC that are not on this committee. I'd like to certainly consult with my own fellow RNC members, but also go back home and gather information from the grassroots of our party about how they feel about all of the rules as they pertain to the delegate selection process. So I don't know what the fear would be to let the committee do its work and to take and deliver this amount of time and collect as much information from as many people as we possibly can. So I would very much be in favor of referring this.
Okay, if I could, I'd like to respond to Mr. I'm sorry, you may be trying to make a point of order. I just wanted to make sure I'm responding to Mr. Little. Mr. Little, if you wish a record vote, it requires a motion and a second, and we'll have a majority vote on that if you wish to proceed. So, Mr. Smack?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move the previous question.
Is there any further debate? Okay, is there a second? All those in favor of closing debate at this time, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. The debate is closed. We'll now vote on the motion. Mr. Little, do you wish to take a record vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, there's a motion and a second for a record vote. A record vote requires a simple majority. All those in favor of taking a record vote on the motion to refer, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Nay. The ayes appear to have it. We'll go ahead and take a record vote on the motion to refer Mr. Blackwell's amendment, and the secretary will go ahead and take that record vote.
Alabama, Vicki Drummond. Yes. Alaska, Ralph Seekins. American Samoa, Amado Radcliffe. Arizona, Bruce Ash. Arkansas, Jonathan Barnett. California, Sean Steele. Colorado, Lily Nunez. Connecticut, Jerry Labriola. Delaware, Ellen Barras. District of Columbia, Robert Cable. Florida, Peter Feynman. Georgia, Randy Evans. Guam, David Sablon. Hawaii, David Sheng. Idaho, Danny Watkins. Illinois, Demetra DeMonte, yes. Indiana, John Hammond. Iowa, Steve Schauber. Kansas, Helen Vanette. Kentucky, Casey Crosby. Louisiana, Ross Little. Maine, Mark Willis. Maryland, Lewis Pope. Massachusetts, Ron Kaufman. Michigan, Terry Lynn Land. Minnesota, Jeff Johnson. Mississippi, Henry Barber. Missouri, Lance Bishop. Montana, Errol Galt. Nebraska, David Kramer. Nevada, James Mack. New Hampshire, Steve Dupre. New Jersey, Bill Bellatucci. New Mexico, Pat Rogers. New York, Jennifer Rich. North Carolina, Ada Fisher. North Dakota, Curly Holland. Northern Marianas. Ohio, Bob Bennett. Oklahoma, Steve Fair. Oregon, Solomon Yu. Pennsylvania, Robert Gleason. Puerto Rico, Zoe Bonnietas. Rhode Island, Carol Mumford. South Carolina, Glenn McCall. South Dakota, Dana Randall. Pardon me? Tennessee, John Robert. Texas, Steve Ministeri. Utah, Edie Mickelson. Vermont, Jay Shepard. Virgin Islands, Liliana Bellado de O'Neill. Pardon? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Oh, not voting. Okay, thank you. Virginia, Mark Blackwell. Washington, Jeff Kent. West Virginia, Conrad Lucas. Wisconsin, Greg Courtney. Wyoming, Greg Schaefer.